But I think it's about when it comes to getting what you know is owed to you, that's a different type of it almost is like next
education,
level.
definitely one of them.
Yeah, like you want the education, but it's like next level when it's like you have tried to take something from me that I know is mine. And I already had like claimed me that we already had the discussion. He already said it's mine. So what you're not about to do is come in here and try to take something that I know is mine. Like if anybody walked into, you know what I mean, my space, like you can't just come in here and take nothing and leave it with
Right.
that. And so that's what it was more so about.
And I think that's exactly what it was about. And when I first got into my bachelor's program, before then, I didn't want a bachelor's degree because my mom, she was just like, when I was at Santa Fe, she was like, why are you making C's at a community college? And I was like, it's not a community college, it's a college, it's not a community college. And she just was just like very like, why you got C's and why you da da da. And I just didn't want to go back to school because I didn't want to have to worry about, oh, here I am about to disappoint her getting bad grades. But when I got into that bachelor's program, I got into it for me. That was for me. It wasn't for nobody else. It wasn't because my mama told me I was supposed to be in school. I did it because I felt like that was where God told me to be at that time in that program. And I was like, all right, get this bachelor's, get out. And you done did your due diligence. And as I'm going through the program, my teachers encourage us, all of us, like, no, go get your master's. And it was really like, my mama had 2 masters at that time, but they were encouraging me like, no, you can do this. You go ahead and get your master's. Like, you won't regret it. And so just being in that environment of like-minded people, other professionals in the same profession, it made me be like, you know what? Yeah, why not get a master's too? So my mind just started changing, and I was like, yeah, this is what my mom was talking about. Okay, it started to make sense then after being in that environment.
They used to push us for that.
It was an extra push because she had been saying it, but my teachers gave me the explanation of it and what we could do with our masters and how important it would be and how much more opportunities we would have. And just being around that, knowing that they had master's degrees. Well, they had a license, they were licensed too, but yeah, but it just knowing that they went through that and they understood what we were going through, that it just encouraged me to do it. And so, that's what happened.
That's why I said you gotta go when the getting is good. Cause that's what I was like, I gotta go get this made because I'm not gonna do, I already know me. And it's the same thing now, like how when we talk about, off camera, like our PhDs and doctors and stuff, and it's like, bro, you should have did that back in the day. Cause you like, it's just, it's just like, I don't feel like it, and it's not even about being lazy. I think it's about just like my mind is not even the stuff that I did in school. It seems like it was a decade ago, like multiple decades.
And no, I definitely got PTSD from school. Like, I'm sick of school, don't want to deal with it no more. And I'm like, how did my brain do that? When I think about it, I just get real nervous thinking about the fact that I'm really considering getting a PhD, and why would I even do that to myself?
But that's how I feel. I feel like I have to. I'm like, no, that's on my list. It was always on my goal I need that title. I'm gonna be a doctor. I don't care. A Black young doctor. I don't care. But I don't feel like, oh, it was so long ago. I just think about the process. And then that master's, especially being advanced, that took a lot out of me. And that's why I don't want to say PTSD, but that was a lot. And just thinking about
trauma.
That, remember, yes, I was like, oh, I'm a go get my PhD right after. When I got out that master program, baby, I was like, I need a break.
And you think it's accelerated because you don't have to do as much work, but no, it's accelerated because it's like they about to pile on
it's everything. Like bam. Yeah.
They about to pile it on thick.
Yeah, you only got a certain amount of time. Yeah. Versus spreading it out over 2 years. Yeah, originally I wanted my master's in management from Wake Forest. And Wake Forest at the time, they had something for minority students. And so if you got into the master's program, not only was your school covered, but you got a stipend, you know, housing, everything was covered. Like when I say because it was 10 months. So they like, we covering everything because you ain't gonna have time to do nothing but get up and come to class. Like maybe take a shower once a week. You know what I mean? Like, so I was like, oh, that's what I need. Cause really, who trying to be in school for another? No, like give me a quick 10 months and I hate it and I'll be angry and I'll be sad and I'll have all these emotions. And then the 10 months is over. You know what I'm saying? So give me that 10 months. But I didn't end up going to Wake Forest, but yeah, that's what I felt. So I know accelerated programs ain't no joke. I went down and met with those students that was in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and they were like, we in here, but you know, you gotta be ready when you get here. Is no rest. Like it's like literally like a full-time job. They're like, you in class 40 hours.
And some people, I'm not gonna say, not all. Some people like, oh, it's just, that's school. It's school. No, Negro. This take a lot. I'm just saying. I'm thinking about my little past. Like, no, this is hard. Hell, I'm stressed the hell out.
So did people minimize your struggle with being in school?
Yeah, like, no, I gotta write all these papers. I gotta use my darn brain. I'm already stressing because I got all these assignments. I'm doing something I ain't never did before, like serious research. Some of this stuff involved like math stuff, which I'm not good at.
Was it statistics?
And then
I like statistics. No, it wasn't statistics, but it kind of actually it was. No, it was a little bit of that, but it was.
I can't remember the formula.
It was research math. It was like math that you use for research.
Yeah. It's two different ones, quantitative and qualitative, right? Quantitative. And one of them involve, math, and you have to like, get the numbers and calculate it like this. And that was just a lot for me.
So yeah, I mean, that was a lot, but I made it through. Thank God.
No, you did. And shout out to you because a lot of people wouldn't have advocated, no matter who they were, you know, black, white, it don't matter. Like they wouldn't have advocated for themselves like that. Some people just lay down and it's like, I just take it. You know what I'm saying? I just take the L. So, but that's that Harriet blood. That's that Tubman coming through. Come on, ancestors.
Be in there.
Yeah, because you deserved it. So that's good. That's good.
And my kids love me. And my boss tells me that, you know, my principals are glad to have me. And even though I think these kids crazy, I do think that they appreciate my role. And I do see that I am helping some kids. So
that's what's up. Touching somebody's life.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you don't know what tools they probably practice at home when you ain't there to watch them.
That's true. But what about you, Davida?
Well, I never had to get baker active for sure. But
no, like
no. So
school related.
Right. School related. So my experience was definitely probably the best then out of all of as far as high school. I got a lot of support. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I did attend a predominantly Black high school, and so if it was 50% Black, the other 50% was made up of international students because we had like a program where the student exchange, where like students will come from Germany and things like that and stay with families, and then some of our students would go over there. So, you know, Hispanic, Caucasian, like mixed, whatever, everything, Native, you know, Asian. It was definitely mixed, but it was predominantly Black. I was in the magnet program in high school. So you have like your home school in the afternoon, and in the morning you attend the other school for like your math and science or what have you. So, and that school was straight up in the hood, but we were on the floor where it wasn't as hood. And so that was cool. We did that for like 2 years. Then they got rid of the program because I'm from Flint. So I really do appreciate the water that you were trying to get to the folks. So, and we all graduated high school in 2008, right? All three of us.
You graduated early.
Y'all graduated in 2009?
Well, remember, our birthday is late, but you
Oh, they do
graduated
it different.
early.
Yeah, Florida, if your birthday is at the end of the year, you start a year after.
They make us
A
start
lot of
after.
states don't do that apparently. Well, I know New York don't. That's a Florida thing.
That's
Just
real
found that out a
disrespectful.
few years ago.
It is real disrespectful.
Like in Michigan, you can test out, but then also I think it goes. So I started school at 3 in what they call Head Start. So yeah, so then you go to kindergarten at 4, and so I was 5 in the first grade. So I guess pre-K and Head Start is probably like the same thing.
Okay, quick
Um,
side note. Dang, I'm sorry, Davita. But how we have Head Start, but we can't start early. You can only start at a certain age for Head Start here too in VPK.
why?
That don't put you ahead like in Michigan. I don't know why Florida do that.
Y'all need
Queen,
to
you
move.
know? Go ahead,
So
Davita.
like,
I don't know.
Now you know we ride here, we some country.
Yeah, Florida, we for education, like school kids, is not the best.
Yeah.
um, well, so definitely 20 years of school straight through. Like, but my grandmother was an educator for like years and years and years, probably about 40 years she taught. So and then my mom got her bachelor's degree in communication. My dad has his bachelor's degree in something. Um, and like my grandmother preached education. So for our, especially the women in our family, it wasn't really like no option. Like you ain't get to, now you could go to the military if that's what you chose to do, because also in the military there's military education. You can go to school, you can, you know what I mean? But it was like you about to do something, so you only got a couple choices. You go to the military, you go to school, or you're starting a business, in the
I know
sense
that's right.
that and that's straight out of high school. So it's like pick
Black
something,
excellence.
because
I know that's right.
you're not about to just be sitting in the crib. And so she gave, her children, my grandmother, the choice of like, do you want a car or do you want to go study abroad? And so all of the girls chose to study abroad, all of the boys chose a car. So it's funny that, when you talk about support, it was never really a question if I was going to college. It was like, where you going? How you about to pay for it? Because you smart. So get some money, because we're not about to be taken out. And my mom was a single parent. Shout out to her for, navigating through life and being able to pay for me to go to school. But of course, it's like, why should I have to spend when you smart enough to get scholarships or grants or whatever? So she had 3 jobs. She was in the Air National Guard. She worked for General Motors, and she was a substitute teacher as well. She used to sit with my high school all the time. So, she knew people who worked in my school. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like no relationship where she was checking up on me. But, there were even people who worked at my school who used to be my grandmother's student back in the day, because her career was so long standing and Flint is so small. So couldn't really get in trouble a lot. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't, it was like you just got to go to school, do some sports, get a job. You just got to be a good student, or your family is going to say that you're the worst screw up ever or whatever. So when I talked about counselors, though, I will say that, I had really good counselors. Like they were signing off on, how like when you apply to college, of course, there's a fee. They were signing off, so like we didn't have to pay those fees. Like
the vouchers.
Yeah. Like our counselors was on it, as far as shout out to Flint Central, that's no longer a school, because they closed it down in 2009 after that class graduated. But we had really good counselors. So moving forward, I initially was like, I'm about to go to this HBCU action. I'm about to go down here and get real. Like it's about to go down. I'm about to throw down, and I'm going to be with my people. But what occurred is I ended up going on 2 different college tours my freshman and sophomore year in high school. We, went to, Clark, Atlanta, Tennessee State, like all these different HBCUs, Virginia State, Virginia Union, the majority of the HBCUs in the South. I'll probably say 10 each year we visited. And I just knew I was going to HBCU. Then I started thinking, once I got to like my junior year, like, is this realistic in the sense that, a lot of my aunts attended HBCUs and my uncles. But it's like, do you want to go down there? And, I was a little boy crazy, you know what I'm saying? So it's like on the campus, even as a sophomore in high school, I'm like, woo, yeah, I need to be up in this. Yeah, get this education, girl. It was left and right. You can't even look, they just right there. So I said, I don't know because I won't be in class. Okay. So I said,
that was a mature decision.
It was a mature decision.
I know a few people who went to HBCUs, the one down here, FAMU, one of the popular ones.
Yeah, come on, FAMU.
Yeah, they came back.
Yeah.
With child.
Listen, with multiple children, by multiple people. Okay, we're just gonna keep it 100 on this adult content. And so I was like, I don't know if I need to be down here because I could possibly make bad decisions and be persuaded. So let me see what else is out there. And what ended up happening at the time, I had been throwing shot puts since like 7th grade. I didn't want to go to school on an athletic scholarship because anything could happen, right, with your body. So my goal was to get as much scholarship money, as much grant money as I could to attend whatever school I wanted to. So what ended up happening is like around my junior year, there was a program called Central Michigan University 2010. And their goal was to increase diversity at Central Michigan by the year 2010. So this program was through what's also called Gear Up, and that's gaining early awareness and readiness for undergraduate programs. And that's all I also wanted to ask y'all, not to interrupt my little story, but like y'all didn't have no programs that like, like college ready programs that y'all could get into?
Dual enrollment.
No, not dual enrollment, like somebody that go ahead.
We did have those, but like again, like I heard about them, but I didn't understand what the importance of it was. I didn't understand what it was. So that's why I missed out on. I had good grades, but I didn't know what to do with that. What did that mean?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, got it.
Sometimes.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, quick side note. Sometimes I'm like, dang, if I knew about this program, for real, I would have went to the trade school, got my LPN real quick. Then I probably would have went here on the college, got my degree. At least I would have been making some money.
In the meantime,
Shoot, 1 year less, making $20-something an hour. I'm just saying.
Yeah, for sure. I hear you on that. Well, so thankfully, this program, was available, and I got in it, and I mean,
Bright Futures is what it's called. It just hit me. Bright Futures. It's like, yes, there's a scholarship.
Florida, yeah. The
Bright
Florida Futures, yes. They have that scholarship called Bright Futures.
Oh, okay, that's what's up. Well, there's also one called Upward Bound here.
We have Upward Bound.
Okay, all right. So so Gear Up is like an Upward Bound, just different grant money.
Okay.
It's federally funded. So, got into a junior year, they were paying us over the summer. Because I mean, you literally spent the summer at this university, doing classes, doing activities, all these things. So you were exposed to college life way before, right? So then senior year, now it's about making connections. It's about having conversations with people so you know what type of classes you want to take, if you sure of what you're made. Like some people's like, I'm gonna be a doctor. And I was just like, I mean, I think I want to work with kids, like, but I don't want to be no regular teacher day to day. So I wasn't really sure what direction to go. However, with this program, it set me up for another program, and that program was called ACE, and this was actually a university funded program. And what that program did was, when you graduated from high school, your summer going into college, you was already in college. So I started taking college courses that summer, and they were paid. So they paid for housing, they paid for food and everything. And so, the program was actually for people who had a low GPA and a high ACT, or vice versa. Thankfully, my ACT was okay, and my GPA was above average. So for me, it was about the access, and because they were paying for classes. So, and of course, it made their program look good because even though I didn't need to be in the program, they knew I would excel. And there was myself and another young lady who, again, we didn't need to be in there, but they, they let us in. So, and I think it was about 10 of us, 12 of us, whatever. Anyway, did that. So we get on campus freshman year. They have a program called Leadership Safari where you literally come to campus a week early. So I think we got July 4th week off, and then the week before the week where all the freshmen come. Leadership Safari is specifically for freshmen. You come on campus a week early, with the athletes and the honor students and things like that. But all the students who are just regular students, they're not there. And you get to meet with a whole bunch of university personnel, the president of the university at the time. Our president was President Rao, but I think our Black president, he got in there. He was the first Black president at that university. And he was from Flint, whoop whoop. But he actually didn't come until my junior year or sophomore year, junior year, I think. So anyway, make a long story short, got in, okay, we're doing the programs, everything going smooth. Now, I met my roommates prior to one of the girls I actually went to high school with. The other one was from Flint, but she went to a predominantly white school on the outskirts of Flint. And, I knew who she was because she did track. And so, she had come up to me at a track meet. And she was like, we're going to be roommates. And I was like, oh, okay, that's what's up. Thanks for that. And so, we're going to be roommates. Now, people told me like maybe y'all shouldn't be roommates because they knew her and they knew me. But my thing in college was like, you're an only child, so you need this experience. So I wasn't trying to be like with just one roommate. I wasn't trying to be by myself because I was like, that's the issue now. Like, you need to go do some different stuff. So sure enough, we become roommates and it just started off bad. Like and this is the first week, we ain't started no classes. In this program, they put you on a wristband. So if you go to a bar in town, even though you can drink and stuff, you in college, most people, you can't drink till you're 21. But if you try to buy some alcohol, even though you only 18 or whatever, they'll cut your wristband. And if your wristband get cut, then, you have to pay the program fee, which was like extreme amount of money. So we would hang out and go different places, but you couldn't go to bars and stuff. You said what?
I said, goodness, that's a little extreme.
But it's only 1 week.
A little fun.
It's only 1 week, and you start doing stuff.
I mean, who cares about a bar when you got house parties and all kind of
exactly. But even they're supposed. So the thing is, they set it up where like it's literally some Judases in the in the cut. So even if you go to a house party, if somebody see you with that band on, like I can cut somebody band. I ain't nobody. But you know what I'm saying? I see them drinking and I know it's serious. Like they take it real serious.
That's too much.
Yeah, it's real serious. But it's because you literally sign a form not to drink for that week. And you literally have activities planned. Like they give you a weekly schedule. 8 a.m. to like 8 p.m. And I'm talking about you doing something every hour, and maybe you get like an hour of rest in the middle of the day. But you are constantly doing something. So it's a great, program, and you're meeting people, and it's wonderful in the sense that, and it's like your first week, you ain't got to drink, like just relax.
Right.
But this girl, it's not that she was drinking, she was just all over the place. And like, I have a unique, first name. She has a unique first name. Everybody knew we were roommates from Flint. And so, it just word spread like wildfire because there was a very small population of Black students on campus, right? So, and then plus I was, even though I wasn't a student athlete in the sense that I got a scholarship, I was a recruited walk-on. So I knew a lot of the track and field people on top of that. So if you were an athlete, you know what I mean? So I'm talking to other athletes, whatever the case may be, football players. Okay, cool. So one thing happened in particular where one night she invited someone to our room. Now, I don't know how y'all rooms look. Well, no, because you stayed at home, right, Queen?
I had 3 roommates, but it was an apartment. So everybody walked into the common area and everybody had their own room.
But she was in a dorm though, right?
I wasn't right. So Everything is shared. The bathroom, the thing on the thing,
Never.
the couch, and it wasn't even no couch. We actually took a bed and made it into a couch. Okay. And so where you get dressed, everything is shared. She invites a gentleman to our room. I ain't never seen dude. I don't know who he is. Okay. We come back from, this is the week of the program. So we got to be up before Jesus is handing out blessings. Okay. And, you got to come in, shower and get, eat something and go to sleep because you got to be back up before Jesus is handing out blessings. So, my roommate and I that I went to high school with, we come in and, we tired, like, okay, let's shower, And the room to like where we actually slept in our beds was closed and the light was off. The room where you had like the TV and the bed that we made into a couch, that's where we were kind of talking and we didn't even know she was there. But, I opened the door, my roommate clicked on the light and she and this guy are in the bed. Now, mind you, it's a bunk bed. So the roommate who I came in with is going to climb up on top of her and I'm going to go over here in a bunk bed that, the bunk beds, you could take them apart. So the bed that we made into a couch was the one that would have been over me. So no one was sleeping over me, but it's like all our computers, purses, everything that's personal to me is right here and accessible to this gentleman you have with you. So they in the bed and she's like, oh, I didn't know y'all were coming back. So, we had and I'm like, sweetheart, I'm not trying to stop your shine. You know what I'm saying? Get it, got it good. Okay. But we don't know him. And this week 1, like you can't wait. You can't go to his house. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't.
She said, I need it now.
And she had a car and stuff. And we ain't had no car. So I'm like, you can't be in a car. Like what? Like we got to be up early. Like, is he spending the night here all night or y'all just done? And then he about to, or you need 10 minutes. Like we can give you 10. And she like, well, he gonna spend the night. No, actually, we hadn't even done a roommate agreement yet. They make you do a roommate agreement the first real week of classes. So we haven't even done that yet. And you already doing extra. So we go back and forth. I'm like, sir, I'm sorry. When we do our roommate agreement, feel free to drop back by. But at this point, she didn't say you was coming and it's 2 against 1. And we don't know who you are. If I wake up and my laptop gone, something gonna happen. So sorry, but not sorry. Peace out. So, I'm like, can you please get dressed and leave? So my roommate and I, the one that I came in with, we leave the room and go down the hall to one of our friends' room. And so we giving them privacy time to, wrap it up. So we come back about 30 minutes, an hour, even later, they back in the bed, light back off, door back closed. So I'm like, now this is before Jesus came into my life. Like I knew him, but the relationship I have with him now, I didn't have that relationship then. Amen. And so I just want to say moving forward that the choices that I made was in a mind frame prior to me knowing Jesus the way I know him now. So I just went off is where I'm going with this. And, I was just like, get your, SHITT, get the FMFABC, XYZ. And actually now you can get dressed in the hallway. So like I took his clothes, threw them out in the hallway. Yeah, because I had already took. So woke up everybody on the floor. Of course,
like, I didn't have a dorm. I can't remember what they called, but
yeah, hall monitor.
Yeah.
So our hall monitor dude came to what's going on? What's going on is XYZABC before Jesus saved me. Okay. And so get him before I get him. Did make it happen. So sure enough, he got the guy out of there. Okay, it was this big thing. And she's like, oh, yeah, you can't tell me I can't have company. And I'm like, until we sign a roommate agreement, though, yeah, I can. Because at this point, it's 2 against 1. And how you just bringing somebody in here and you ain't even say anything. That's the thing that blew me. Like, if I'm going to have an overnight guest, I'm going to let y'all know. I'm not even saying you got to ask, but just be like, hey, look, I want to invite dude, get y'all personal stuff out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like,
just courteous. Just be courteous.
Yeah.
Just courtesy. And, I'm just like, no, that's like not okay. Moving forward, another incident occurred where we're frying chicken. And not like me per se, but it was people in my room. And, we had like a big bowl with like some.
How you frying chicken in a dorm?
Well, there was a kitchenette down the hall.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we were gonna fry chicken and we didn't end up doing no chicken, which was sad. But they had like the flour, all the grease, everything. So we're standing there talking about what we're about to do. And so if we're gonna watch a movie and so on, whatever. Basically, what occurred is in the conversation, the bowl slips from under the girl arm who's holding the bowl, like she got the bowl, and it had the big thing of flour in a thing, and then the grease in the thing. And so when it hit the floor, obviously, flour everywhere, grease everywhere. And this is in my room. Remember, I told you it's bunk beds. So when it splattered, it got all over the bottom bed. My bed was over in the corner. But the girl who slept on the bottom bed, which was this roommate who invited the guy over, her comforter had flour on it, some little grease stains. Her laptop was on the floor and it was closed. So we just wiped that little grease off of there. But, it is what it got over her stuff. So we like, all right, everybody and it was probably 5 of us. So I'm like, everybody put $5, $6 together. And when she get back, we hand her some cash for her to go get another comforter. Because I'm like, that grease not about to come out of there, So when she got back, we had the money and stuff. And we were like, hey, this is what happened. She's just like, oh, no, it's fine. And I'm like, so you don't see that grease? Because that's grease. It's not water. So... But okay, you don't want the money because that's okay because I'm broke anyway and I ain't really want. But okay, so she didn't take the money. She's like, I'm just gonna go wash it. And at that time, we didn't know that she was like a little intoxicated. So she's going back and forth, taking, her dirty clothes down to be washed. It was also her day to clean the bathroom, which. Because she wore weave and a lot of makeup, the bathroom was just never clean. And if you know me, amen, it got to be clean. Girl. Hallelujah, praise him. And so, again, it's not about me wanting it to be clean, but it's about the fact that you're not cleaning up behind yourself. Because if I leave the sink and there's nothing in there, then I come back and there's hair and makeup in the sink, that's just not, because I have to now clean up behind you. So she's going back and forth and she's like, doing all her dirty, and it's like in a common space. It's like you don't pull out your dirty stuff, and we got you see it's people in our room, like what I'm like. It's just you being real rude. So she's going back and forth, and I'm just like, girl, take all your dirty, go in the area where we sleep. Like, why are you out here going through dirt? You know what I mean? So what ended up occurring was that she left some dirty drawers out. Judea, amen, that is my first name, took a picture of these said drawers and posted them on said social media and tagged her in said social media. And in 2 seconds before viral was viral, I went viral. Okay. And everybody was, laugh out loud. You so crazy. Da, da, da. Now by this time, we a couple weeks into school, like maybe 2. And so, everybody that's wrong. And I'm like, no, this is because she, didn't clean up, what I'm saying? Like, this is what's going on. This is her fault. And so this is again before Jesus knew me as his child.
That's so messed up.
It is. I'm like, dang, that's deep.
It's real. Whoa. It's not no Harriet Tubman. It's not.
If I thought Kiki was the type of ways.
That Kiki, that's you.
That's over me, ain't it?
No, I don't think Kiki would do that.
Dang, that's above Kiki.
Yeah, because she's saying I do stuff. That's more. Yeah, I wouldn't.
Kiki be doing stuff, but I don't know.
That's deep. Okay. Well, posted them.
I don't know. I wish I was more like how y'all be mischievous and doing stuff like that. I wish I was more like that because when I get upset, I'd be like, we could just fight it out. That's my like.
No, that's not. Fight it out.
No.
But y'all don't be on that. Y'all be on some. I got something for you. Yeah. Some sneaky type. I'm gonna embarrass you. But me, I just be like, well, what you trying to do? Because you would have been throwing his stuff out the door. Well, I would have been fighting.
Period. No, I wasn't going. First of all, I was bigger than both of them put together. Probably not. But not at that time. Now I.
But see, I don't care.
So no, I'm not gonna fight you. But in addition to that, there were so many things that I'm just not even going because this is just too much to get into. But there have been things leading up to this. So this was kind of like the last straw. she had, taken us somewhere and went and left us, and we stranded, and she back there doing God knows what with God knows who. Like, there was times where, somebody came up to me like, oh, you so-and-so roommate, so you do da 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 da. Excuse me?
I have some experiences like that, but I ain't gonna go there.
Yeah. And I'm like, what? Like, who even are you? Like, to come,
oh, so no, she was saying that you be doing certain stuff. She was telling people.
No, it wasn't.
Oh, she was such a hoe. People thought that you was like that, right?
Yes.
Oh, like that. Yeah.
Because I mean, again,
but that don't got nothing to do with you.
But these young niggas, girl, you hang with her, birds
and they were athletes, more particularly. So again, if I'm an athlete and I know a couple athletes, they coming to me like, oh, da 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 da, and I'm like, huh? What are you even talking? Oh, because she was da 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 yesterday, and then I was just trying to see if. No, actually, never, and I didn't even know she was doing that. So thanks for that story. You know what I'm saying? So it was just so much, and even the guy who was in the room, he was on the track team, and we had never even met. So that just goes to show you how large the track team was. So when I got to practice the next day, everybody like, dang, you crazy. And I'm like, crazy? They like, didn't you throw somebody out last night? And I'm like, first of all, how do you know that? Like, who told you that? Like, that wasn't on social media, this is before social media.
Wait, I gotta know which social media outlet you use.
Nope, can't even tell you because I don't ever want nobody to search it. So with that being said, before
on camera.
Okay. And so, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, I did. Oh, he right over there. And I'm like, well, bro, if you had just said you was on the track squad, I would have let you spend the night. Like, that's all you had. I'm joking, but it's just like, with the Black community being so small, with us being roommates, with us being both from Flint, with us both having these very unique first names, like, there was no way that you could separate us. Like, and so sure enough, she went, and I didn't know all these times that something occurred, I always addressed it. I never was like, you leave me stranded somewhere, I got some words for you. You know what I'm saying? And like, so with that being said, and I had said, certain things that were mean in the sense to me back then, I was thinking, well, this is what you do. Like, this is, so if I say X, Y, and Z, A, B, and C, that's because it's true. Like, I'm not going to tell no lies, but it was not my place to call her out. It was not my place to say these things. I know that now. But the case in point is she was going to report me every time. So this final straw of me doing, the panties online, next thing I know, next day, they bring me some papers. The resident advisor, the resident director of the hall, he's like, yeah, you got to be out of here in a week because actually you kicked out.
What?
So there was like actual charges against me that was for hazing, harassment, and stalking.
What?
And I was like, yes, honey. They served me some papers, like, yeah, okay. And I was like, what? Like, I'm reading it like, wait a minute, because never, like, I've been reporting you too, except for I wasn't reporting her to the right people. I was reporting her because we had the same scholarship director. I was reporting her to the scholarship director because the scholarship that we all had, that was the reason we were in that dorm anyway. So I'm thinking, I just need a new roommate, like, and the other roommate was with me, like, yeah, we both need a new room, you know what I'm saying? So, but that wasn't the resident hall director. That's who I should have been talking to. I was reporting her to, my mentor, who at the time I didn't know had pool, but I was just kind of complaining. There was nothing on record. So here I'm learning that you have to have a paper trail. You know what I'm saying?
Paper trail with you.
There you go.
Dang.
So sure enough, I'm just like, what? And it's, of course, at the bottom, if you want to appeal this decision by blah, 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 blah. So I'm like calling everybody who I've been complaining to. I'm calling everybody, scholarship, I can't help you. I go to the minority student recruiter. I can't help you, Judy. Okay, cool. So at the end of it all, I went to my mentor and I was like, what am I supposed to do? Because never is y'all about to kick me. First of all, I can't stalk her. She lived with me. I don't need to stalk her. Second of all, what is harassment? Like, what is that definition? And hazing, that's like some fraternity sorority stuff. Like, as far as I'm concerned, like, what is they even talking about? So all said and done, I had to meet with she was like over student something. She was like the head person in charge of all students, all living arrangements on campus. And so I could have
Wait,
people
so they was kick you out of the dorm or they was kick you out of school?
Out of the school entirely. And this is freshman year, first semester.
You ain't did nothing yet.
I'm just like, what? So my grandmother and my aunt came on my behalf, but they couldn't talk. They could just sit there as support. And my mentor also, you said same?
Same. My mama and my sister came when they had that meeting with me and they kicked me out of school. And that lady was so nasty to my mom and my sister, but she was like, you cannot talk. You don't have nothing to say. You can sit here and not talk.
Dang. Well, yeah, but we had already had a conversation. So they had already given me the, you know what I'm saying, what to say. Because this is my first time ever even, you know, I was like, what? Like, I don't even know how to even go about this. And my mentor was the one who really pushed. She also had a professional relationship with this lady that I didn't know anything about. So she had already come on my behalf to have a conversation with her before we even got in the room. That's how Jesus put people where people need to be put. And so she was also there on my behalf, but she couldn't speak either. But I didn't know they had already had a conversation. So, you know, I presented my case. You know, you talking about writing some letters. You know what I'm saying? I had already written the appeal and everything, but, you know, I had written a statement. And so, you know, she was like, well, I'll have a decision for you within blah, 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 blah. So fast forward, you know, the decision come, I can stay. But what they ended up doing was moving that young lady out of the room. And so then it ended up just being me and the young lady who I went to high school with. And there were other people also going through roommate things that I found out later on that year and the year after that. In our scholarship program. And I mean, it's just a thing, you know what I mean? That you just, I guess some people got to go through.
I feel like they should have took that step first. They should have came to you first and tried to, or at least try to consider different roommate options first.
Yeah.
Like, okay, bam, you out. Like, geez.
Right. Like they didn't even check with you, say nothing like.
And the residence hall director, you know, when I went to speak with him after he had given me the papers, I said, well, how you charging me with something when you don't even have my side of the story? You gonna charge me just off, there's no evidence. She, you know, except for the panties online, all this other stuff is just hearsay. So how do you, oh, well, she was the first person who came in and she's been reporting and blah, 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 blah. Oh, so it just goes on who come in here first. Noted, duly noted. Thank you for that. So, and I'm not, you know, this is not to say anything as far as, you know, not only who these people were, but, you know, or the fact that, you know, whatever they said, because I don't have that on record. You know, if he was sitting here, he might say, I didn't even say that. You know what I mean? So, but it was just, in my case, paper trail. That was the first time I had a lesson on paper trail and stuff. And so anybody watching paper trail, whatever,
black and white.
Paper trail, if anybody watching, even from my story, paper trail.
Paper trail it, okay? So they did decide to let me stay. They moved her. Everything was good. The following year, I won resident of the year of that same. Now, the way these halls were set up, it was like 4 old halls and 3 new ones in the cafeteria, and they all came together in a circle in the middle. So I moved into the newer ones, which was one of the 3. But I was resident of that year, but I took my trophy and the little paper that they give that says, you know, resident hall of the year on it to this lady to say like, hey, not only did you let me stay, but I went above and beyond, and the hall nominated me. The hall, you know, voted for me to be resident of the year. Not only that, but then I started like a slam poetry group on campus, you know, co-founded that. I was in any competition ever that ever had anything to do with poetry. On top of that, held shows, was in the paper multiple times, the city paper as well as the school paper, performed for the governor of Michigan for Martin Luther King Jr. Day. You know, that was all over
showing
the
them.
Oh, well, I mean, you got to, because not only am I going to let you know that I'm supposed to be here, but I'm going to go above and beyond. I'm gonna be extra the greatest of
Absolutely.
all. You know, so and I mean so many other things that I mean I don't even have to mention just, you know, different things that I did, but just to say that like I was supposed to be there, number one, and it was just a hard lesson I had to learn, number two. And so I'm a better person because of it, but I'm hoping that she also learned something in it as well, because for them to just move her and then like I still got to see you on campus and I know that you went and reported me. You feel me? So for me, it was an even greater lesson. And because people, when you talk about strong personalities, when people, you know, meet me, they're like, yeah, she got a strong personality, but they also want to assume that I'm going to, because they knew me before Jesus saved my life, or even then that I would like harm her or that. And I was like, girl, I'm here. Like me seeing you every day is enough to let you know that you didn't defeat me. I don't need to harm you. I don't need to say nothing to you. We don't need to talk about it. Like, I mean, and then even people who were affected outside of that, because of course she brought into, you know, the situation of us dropping the flour and the grease. And it was like, that literally was an accident. And there's multiple people who were there that can say, I wasn't even the one, I didn't even drop the grease. I just was in the room. But for you to bring that up as something to say like, oh, Judea did this, it's like, come on, dude. So that was undergrad. So let's just fast forward. We graduate. You know, the president of the university, the guy who I said was from Flint, he ended up, he had never had a student. He had open door policy. He never had a student actually use said open door policy. I was the first student to do so when I went to him to talk about some things that could happen on campus, not just as a Black student, but for all the students, as far as like celebrating certain, whether it's Native American month, whether it's, you know, Hispanic Heritage Month, whatever. It's like, why is it that when I go to Hispanic Heritage Month, it's me and all the other minorities? It's like, we not having Hispanic, the Hispanics know about Hispanic Heritage Month. Most of the other minorities know about Hispanic Heritage Month. The people who need to be here are the people who make up the most of this population at this university. So we had a conversation, and for that, we always had a connection. And so during my graduation in 2012, he literally came down from, so they have them like kind of like on like a stage. And when you graduate, you don't walk across the stage, you just walk across the front row of the auditorium of the venue, I guess. He came off the stage to come down and wait to shake my hand. And like somebody got a picture and it was like all in the picture. So I mean, Central Michigan owes me nothing. And you know, I will fire up Chip to the day I die. I bleed maroon and gold. I have nothing negative to say. I love the experience. I'm so happy I went. And to compare that to my master's degree, I went to Virginia State University for my master's in education. Total shock, I guess, is the first thing. Yes, it's an HBCU. And I had visited the school before. It was extremely small compared to Central Michigan. I mean, you know, and so it was a big change in the sense of like just the way they did things, which I just felt was kind of like Southern and old school. Like, why do I need to stand in a line when I can just like do this online? Like, why? It was almost like, you know how if you got to go in person to pay a bill and it's like, I can't pay this online. Like, what is this? You know what I'm saying? It was that type of thing. Central Michigan, everything was online. You know, the only thing that you would ever have to do in person was if you were changing your major and you have to actually sign documents. When it came to classes, what I really appreciated about Central Michigan is they did this thing called like stacking. And so I never took a class that in some way didn't benefit me. Most of the classes I took, yeah. So all my money was used for exactly what it needed to be used for. And so I didn't have any loans, thank God. And so, you know, I wasn't trying to like just be in there blowing money. So it's like, what can this one class do for me? Is this my major, minor? Like, what you had university requirement classes, you had major requirement. I had 2 minors, and my scholarship requirements, we had to take classes for those as well. So I'm like trying to kill multiple birds with one stone. Like, if I'm taking one class, how many, you know, different requirements will this class meet for me? And so that's how I went about scheduling, you know, and whatnot. And of course, they had like the bulletin online. They had a bulletin that you could get, you know, that was printed out. And so it was very easy to navigate, but I also had tools and resources from those programs prior to me being in college. Those same people were around to help. And so it was a setup for success, basically. And so, you know, moving forward, you get to Virginia State and it's just like, dog, like what? Like I'm just so I gotta, first of all, it's hot. I'm not standing like out here being hot. And like, why do I gotta stand out here again? Oh, because you gotta give them your financial aid. But that they send that to them in the that don't come from me, that come from the people. Oh, but you gotta sign the paper, but I can't do that electronic signature. So y'all don't know nothing about electronic signatures down here. Okay, all right, that's no problem. So I mean, that was really my only complaint. You know, I love the fact that I finally got the HBCU experience. I will say it's very different going for your master's degree, you know, being a graduate student versus being an undergrad student. Just because, you know, the campus life, it's like, and yeah, I was 21, you know, but I was like, dog, I already like been to parties and stuff. Like at that point, like I wasn't interested in drink. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I was always either the DD or just the person who, you know, was not drinking at the party, make sure everybody was good, because it was just, I would probably say my junior year at Central Michigan, I stopped really going out to certain parties because it's like they did that last year. Like I already been to that. Like I want to do some different stuff. And so I'm mad that I didn't travel as much as I should have. Not that I really had the funds to do so, but I should have taken more trips. Like I should have already been to Mexico. Like why am I going to Mexico just recently as an adult? Like Mexico,
don't do that.
That's harder to do when you're in college though. Funds limited and you got to be focused on your studies.
We had to be focused, and I don't regret not.
But I would have took out some loans to travel. You best believe it. Like,
you know what I would have wanted to do? I would. What's some programs like I wouldn't mind studying abroad, or you know how they say, oh, you could go to a different country and that count as a course credit.
Yeah.
If I had more opportunities to do
but
that.
But that's extremely expensive too. So I looked into that and I chose not to go because I was like, I Googled flights. I was like, how much is it? This program, how much? Oh no, how much it take to get down? Can you drive to Mexico? Ain't it's connected to the North America? I can drive over there. I can't pay all this money to get over there to do nothing. No Espanol, no. So, you know, you have to like so what I will say is that I'm not mad that I didn't do study abroad, but I am feeling some type of way because I didn't just go abroad just to go, you know, so because I would have took out loans to do that, but I wasn't thinking about it like I am now. And so definitely for my master's degree, the professor who kind of lit the match in my head, really, a shout out to Dr. Wafa Hosian. She literally, if you're watching, Dr. Hosian, she literally, you know, was the first person to tell me like, go travel, you know, you're young, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, girl, I do need to go a couple places if I just commit to a job. She's like, you got all your life to work. And so I told her, hello?
Because you got all your life to work.
I said,
is that how you ended up teaching abroad?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was about to say. So I was like, well, I want to travel. I was thinking about the military, but I was like, who about to keep eating food? Me. So that, you know, I talked to the recruiter and he was like, yeah, you know, this and that, like ready to sign me up. He was like, come in for blah, blah, blah. And I go in there and he like, well, this and that, this and that. So like, let's get you on this scale. I was like, scale? Don't be disrespectful. Don't do that. I'm
flat-footed. They won't allow me to be in there. So
I get on this scale. He was like, yeah, so you got to drop about, I think at that time, I think he said like 70 pounds or something. Because the weight limit was like 180. I was like, sir, come on now. Let's 70. I
bet that's not like now.
They know darn well they can have big people in the military. Y'all need somebody to do the desk work and clerical work. Quit playing.
Well, so the thing is, what they used to do, like when my mom got in, if you could pass the physical test, then
I thought that's how they did it.
No, now it's a cap. It's like this your height, you weigh this much, period.
But that's not fair because if I can outrun and out throw and out jump and shoot, then I'm straight.
What if the person is big and muscle?
Don't matter. Still got to lose weight. That's what he told me. Because he was looking at me. He was like, did you play sports? And I was like, yeah. He was like, yeah.
Yeah, because you muscle.
Yeah, it don't matter. Yeah. So I was like, well, it was great talking to you. Can I have one of these candies on your desk since I'm not about to lose this weight? Thank you. Have a great day. Walked up out of there. So, but I knew I wanted to travel. And so having that conversation with my professor, she said, you should go. First, she said Middle East. And I was like, honey, I just feel like you reaching, And she was like, well, where are you thinking about going? And so, I said, well, let me go somewhere where I know I'm not fluent in Spanish, but, let me go somewhere where I can at least read a sign on the street, Lord, and ask a question. So that's how I ended up going to teach in Spain. So my master's program, that was definitely nothing but God working, because I'm a planner. So when I don't get to plan the way I need to plan, I feel like everything's just going to come crashing down. Mm. I had started applying to a whole bunch of different stuff first semester of senior year, right? Because we already know we're about to graduate. And nobody hit me back. I had multiple interviews second semester, interview with Wake Forest. I went down to North Carolina. They were like, I'd already taken the GRE. Well, your grades are good, your letters are good, but we need you to retake the GRE. And then what? Well, we need you to get a higher score. But what if it's a lower score? What if it's the same score? Then what? Will you conditionally admit me? What's going on? No, we don't do condition. Well, then I need to don't talk to me because I'm not coming here. So then that didn't work out.
That's why me and Kiki was like, well, because sometimes I just feel like these standardized tests ain't meant for me to pass them, must be, because I know I ain't dumb, like, really. But I'm just trying to figure out why these tests
get money. I do not like that standardized test crap.
Yeah,
it's canceled now because the pandemic. That's why I'm like, we need to go now.
The test is canceled.
A lot of the universities,
a lot of people are waiving it.
They not requiring the GRE. A lot of universities.
You should have said
all these universities. I've been looking.
She done said that 5 times. Every time we talk about it.
Yeah.
Now I thought she was saying when I think waive, I'm thinking the fee, not like it's waive, like you don't need to take it. Say no more, because I'm applying tomorrow. I'm not even playing. I'm applying tomorrow. And for somebody.
So what we finna do? Get this degree in Christian?
Preaching.
Whatever, it don't matter. Christian, I don't care what it's in. But
we just want to be called doctor at this point. As much hell as we went through in school, we just might as well go ahead.
My name is Doctor.
Yeah, well, and you know what? Going through all that in undergrad, when I say once I got to grad school, it was smooth. I ain't had no issue with no professor. I ain't had no issue with no students. Obviously I was living by myself in an apartment, but I mean, even the way the administrative assistant handled the fact, because you're dealing with HBCUs, right? And so you know how we are. So you got to call 17 times in one day just to have a conversation about one thing. And you're going to talk to 17 people. And they all gonna tell you something different. And so when I say I'm like steadily like, and I'm asking for the same lady because it seemed like she got something done. When she said she was gonna email me, she emailed me. And so she was a godsend, and we still have a relationship to this day. And she ended up becoming a mentor as well. And so when I got down there, I was just like, honey, whatever you need from me, like I'll do, like whatever, because you are literally the reason why I'm here. I had applied to like Clark Atlanta. Them fools called me. They called me talking about you've been admitted. I'm like, I'm sorry, admitted when? Because first of all, the semester's already started. So you admit me for next semester? Oh, well, yeah, this grad program, blah, 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 blah. And you think now is the appropriate time to call me when it started in a week? Didn't you see on my application that I'm from Michigan? Like what? So it was just like crazy things going on. So I'm just really thankful that, he knew the plans that he had for me at the end of it all. And, went abroad to teach after that. And now here we are.
Oh, wait. And also I did want to say that I love how you have like connections with your teachers and stuff from way back. But I don't have that because my master's program was online. So I didn't get a chance to form new healthy relationships with my professors. So,
and that's why I don't want to do a doctorate online, because I'm first of all, online classes, I'm gonna just be knocked out. I'm gonna eat some
I hate
snacks,
them.
and I'm gonna be at the computer, and I'm gonna be asleep. Okay.
No, but the thing is, we didn't have to log in and look at the screen. It was like, here, do your work.
Basically, that's why I didn't want to do a doctorate online, because I need that, connection, that, I need to be in front of you. I need to be able to take some notes, ask some questions. I can't just read stuff online. That's not good enough, but
right. I get it.
All right. Thanks everybody for joining us this week on Coco Bread. We hope you enjoyed our stories from our college experiences. Please feel free to drop your college experiences below. We would love to hear anything that you have to say. Check us out on Instagram at Coco Bread Exclusive, Davita_Naylene, Queen_Sense_birth, and at Perfectly Kiki. We look forward to hearing from you all, and we'll see you next time. Queen, can you give us the outro, please?
You know what? I got one in my spirit, and it's just been kind of stirring up all day. So y'all repeat after me. I am a revolutionary.
A revolutionary.
Yes, a revolutionary.
I
am
a revolutionary.
A revolutionary.
Y'all be blessed.
Bye.